Possessiveness is the psychological tendency to treat a person, relationship, object, or source of emotional security as something that must be controlled, protected, or kept exclusively. It often appears in romantic relationships, friendships, family connections, and even professional environments. On the surface, possessiveness can look like intense love or concern, but underneath it is frequently connected to fear. The person may fear abandonment, replacement, betrayal, rejection, loss of status, or the discovery that they are not as important to someone as they believed. Because uncertainty feels threatening, the mind attempts to reduce it through control. A possessive person may monitor another person's behavior, become uncomfortable with their independence, demand excessive reassurance, interpret ordinary interactions as threats, or become intensely jealous when attention is directed elsewhere. The underlying assumption is often that security depends on controlling access, behavior, or attention. This creates a psychological paradox, because control cannot create genuine emotional security. It can produce temporary reassurance, but the relief fades because the possibility of loss still exists. The mind then demands more control. Possessiveness can therefore become a cycle of fear, monitoring, temporary reassurance, and renewed fear. The person may sincerely believe that their behavior comes from love, but the emotional foundation may actually be anxiety about losing something that has become central to their identity. The deeper psychology of possessiveness involves attachment, insecurity, and the difficulty of accepting another person's autonomy. Healthy attachment allows two people to remain connected, while still recognizing that each person has an independent inner world. Possessiveness struggles with this independence because another person's freedom creates uncertainty. If someone can choose to leave, then they cannot be completely controlled. For an insecure mind, that possibility can feel intolerable. The person may therefore attempt to create certainty by restricting independence, demanding constant availability, or interpreting boundaries as rejection. Yet these behaviors can gradually suffocate the relationship and create the very distance the person fears. Possessiveness can also emerge when personal identity becomes excessively dependent on a relationship. If someone believes that losing a partner means losing their worth, status, or sense of self, the relationship becomes psychologically larger than the individual. Protecting it then feels equivalent to protecting the self. Healing requires understanding that love cannot be secured through ownership. Another person can choose you freely, but genuine connection loses its meaning when choice is replaced by control. Emotional security develops through self-trust, healthy boundaries, communication, and the ability to tolerate uncertainty. You can care deeply about someone without monitoring every movement. You can experience jealousy without allowing jealousy to dictate behavior. You can acknowledge the possibility of loss without treating another person's independence as a threat. The deepest form of love is not possession but connection without captivity. When a person understands that another human being is not an object to be secured but an independent individual capable of choosing connection, relationships become more authentic. Possessiveness begins to weaken when the mind realizes that controlling someone's behavior cannot guarantee their loyalty. What creates meaningful connection is not fear of leaving but freedom to stay. The deepest security comes not from knowing that someone cannot leave, but from knowing that you can survive uncertainty without abandoning yourself.